Welcome to Lesson 5-8. That's Topic 5, Lesson 8. Today we're going to be converting customary units. Customary units are just units that we're accustomed to, like feet, inches, miles, Fahrenheit and temperature, those sorts of things, as opposed to metric units, which they use in the rest of the world. Now, you've converted customary units in the past. You did that in earlier grades. And today we're going to learn a new trick, a little trick called dimensional analysis, which sounds hard, but actually makes things way easier. So here we go. We have a problem. We have a sidewalk in front of a store that's 4 5/10 feet wide. The regulations require the width of the sidewalk to be a maximum, no more than 66 inches, and doesn't meet regulations. Well, we need to have the same units if we want to be able to compare these. So I could change inches to feet or feet to inches. I'm going to go from feet to inches. So I'm starting with my 4 5/10 feet, and I need to know the conversion factor of feet to inches. So 12 inches is 1 foot. So I have a ratio of 12 to 1 of inches to feet. And what I want to happen is for the units I'm not interested in, I want them to cross cancel. Well, let's look at cross canceling with numbers. If I have 2/3, if I want that to become a 1, what do I multiply it by? Well, I multiply it by its inverse. And if I do that, the numbers cross cancel. 2's, the 3's divide by 3, and I get 1 over 1 or 1. The same thing can happen with units. If I want to convert feet to inches, I need to multiply feet by something that cancels out the feet and leaves me with inches. Well, for feet to cross cancel, they're going to have to go on the bottom. And to be left with inches, they have to go on top. And then I can divide by feet, and I get inches left over. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to put 4 5/10 feet over 1. I want my feet to cancel out, so they're going to go on the bottom, 1 foot. And I want inches to be left. I could put 1 feet and they would cancel out, but that would be kind of weird. Anyway, I want my 12 inches on top. And now you can see my feet cancel out. And I'm going to be left with 4 5/10 times 12 inches over 1 times 1 is 1. So now I got to do my 4 5/10 times 12. And if I do that multiplying, I get 54 inches. And so the sidewalk is no larger than 66 inches, so it's good to go. It does meet regulation. For the next part, they're asking how many feet wide is the maximum possible sidewalk width if we have 66 inches. So we got to change our 66 inches to feet. So again, I want inches to cancel out, so I'm going to put my inches on the bottom. And that's 1 foot. If you see, my inches cancels out. What I have is 66 times 1 foot over 12. And so that's 66 divided by 12. And I get 5 5/10 feet. All right, our next customary units that we're going to convert aren't length, but they are capacity. And I want you to write this maybe on the back page of your packet if you find a place. You need a big full page to write this down. It's called the big G. There it is, the big G. Isn't it lovely? And within the big G, I can fit 4 Q's. There we are. And so that stands for 4 quarts in 1 gallon. The big G, yes, you guessed it, is for gallons. And the Q stand for quarts, 4 quarts in a gallon. So a half gallon has 2 quarts, right? You can see that on the picture. A quarter of a gallon is 1 quart. 3/4 of a gallon is 3 quarts. And so on 6 quarts. That would be a gallon and a half. So you can use this picture could really find these conversions easily. Now, within each quart are 2 P's for 2 pints. Okay, so there you go. So if I wanted to know 4 pints, that's a half gallon, or 2 quarts. All right, you can play around with those too. And within each P, I have 2 C's for cups. 2 cups in a pint, which means there's 4 cups in a quart, which means there's 16 cups in a gallon. So there's something for you to copy down and use, memorize. Once you've drawn it a dozen times, you'll never forget it, and it makes converting way easier. So here we go. We're going to start converting customary units of capacity. We have 15 gallons of water, and we want to know how many quarts that is. So again, my big G has 4 quarts in a gallon. So there's what I'm starting with. I'm starting with 15 gallons, and I'll put that over 1. And I want to end up with quarts, and I want my gallons to cancel out, which means gallons have to go on the bottom. So 1 gallon down here and 4 quarts up here. And my gallons cancel out. 15 times 4 is 60 quarts. That's how many quarts are in 15 gallons of water. All right, we have another one here. Brandon's making bread. Homemade bread's pretty good stuff. His recipe says to use 2½ tablespoons of sugar. 2½ tablespoons of sugar. And I want to know how many teaspoons that is. Okay, do I put my tablespoons on top, on the bottom? I want to be left with some number of teaspoons. Go ahead and give it a try. We'll talk about it in class. All right, here we go. Now we're going to do some weight. We need to know that there are 16 ounces in 1 pound. And we have this pica that weighs 10 ounces. We want to know how many pounds that is. I want my ounces to cancel out. So 16 ounces goes on the bottom. 1 pound goes on top. And it looks like I end up with, ounces cancel out. I get 10 over 16. And I want to simplify that, right? Divide by 2. I get 5/8 of a pound for that pica. All right, one for you to try. Stella, the elephant weighs 3 3/10 tons. Goodness. We want to know how many pounds that is, okay? And we know that 1 ton is 2,000 pounds. So use your dimensional analysis so tons cancel out. And we want to be left with a certain number of pounds. Give it a try. Here's some straight up practice. We're going to convert 27 inches to yards. Remember, 12 inches is a foot, 3 feet is a yard. Again, we're also going to change 1 8/10 pounds to ounces. Remember, 1 pound is 16 ounces. All right, give it a try. See you next time.